What's the most unexpected or funny thing that happened during your last recent trip for both of you guys? Or if there's one you guys had together?
I'd say when I was in Europe, we were in Paris, and then we were supposed to meet up with the bus, and that's where I had actually left my spare implant batteries. Because I was thinking, it would be totally fine to just grab those after dinner, and then whenever my batteries do die, I'll be fine. But I didn't remember that, or I didn't think about, I guess, that we had gotten up at 4 a.m. to actually travel to Paris. So my batteries died much sooner, and the bus wasn't at the spot where it should have been. So we had to walk to dinner and then meet up with it later. And that was conveniently when my implants decided to die. So I was walking around Paris completely deaf, which was very interesting. It was like a double language barrier, which was really it was a very unique experience. Thankfully everyone in my group was able to kind of guide me around and make sure I wasn't walking into traffic.
I can only imagine how scary that must have been.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though. I was just totally deaf and walking around. I couldn't read any of the signs. It's good.
Welcome back to Rhythm in Rome with Benef, Paul, and Trisha, where we discuss our travel adventures and explore cultural differences, similarities, misconceptions, and all the craziness in between. Get ready for a passport knuckle ride.
If you could hop on a plane right now to anywhere in the world, Patrick, no school, Jen, no work, where would you go and why?
I think I would go to Scotland. I went there when I was little and I absolutely loved it, but I feel it'd be so neat to see it with more of the knowledge of history that I have now. I think that would be so fun to go back and kind of revisit all those places and with a new perspective.
Wow, great one.
I actually have a trip itinerary that I would like to do at some point. So each set of great grandparents came over from a different country in Europe, and I would like to visit all of them. So kind of do a tour of those areas. So Ireland, Italy, but in the part of Italy that my family was from, Czech Republic and Hungary. So that's what I would like to do, a circuit. And they all came to Ellis Island and settled in New York, and that's how my family wound up in New York, really.
Oh, that's awesome. What's one thing you will always pack in your suitcase, no matter where you go? What is that one thing?
I think for me it would be my implant chargers, because I do enjoy hearing in all the different places. Being deaf would probably not be ideal. So I think that would probably just be, I would always have it. So.
Patrick, how old are you?
I'm 16.
Oh,
so.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2 more years and you're out the house.
I'm going to be in 10th grade, or 11th grade, I guess,
forward
now.
To that,
so,
or
my junior year.
Any big plans for junior year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be great to see everybody again. I'm really looking forward to I needed the break for summer, but I'm ready to kind of get back to school and see everybody, start taking all the classes. And everything.
No, but seriously, how do you feel about your junior year with your mom? You're like, no, I'm looking forward to classes.
That is actually the serious answer.
It's kind of surreal though that I'm going to be an upperclassman. Hasn't fully hit me yet.
That's great. I'm looking forward to see what all you do as an upperclassman for sure.
Yeah.
So Patrick is deaf and does wear cochlear implants all the time. So that's why that would probably be.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. You can talk about it as much as you want at your comfort level of how much you want to share and stuff like that too as well. Just curious, do you know how to do sign language? Are you fluent in sign language or?
No, I don't know any sign language at all. So that was a unique thing. I was trying to lip read to communicate with people.
I was gonna tag on Patrick to say it's probably sometimes best that you didn't hear everything that was in there.
Right.
So trust me, you probably did yourself a good thing in some spaces.
I only found out about it that he couldn't hear because somebody had posted a picture of all of them at dinner and I couldn't see him. I'm like, everybody else is in this picture except for you. And where were you? And he said, well, I didn't know they were taking the picture. How did you not know? Everybody else is smiling for the picture. And then he said, well, I couldn't hear.
Oh,
no. You can see the back of my head buried behind a table, in the very back of the photo.
Well, I think ignorance was bliss on this one, Jen.
So funny.
I'm sure.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely.
No, that's all. That's awesome in a good way, because thank God you got everything that you needed, and
Yeah.
your whole trip didn't get
But way to come back
ruined
from that.
because of
Definitely way to muscle through
missing.
that and,
Yeah.
you know, kind of
Heck yeah,
still integrate, still try to, you know, and then certainly
for
kudos to your
sure, for
friends
sure.
for certainly keeping you under their wing and protecting you and making sure you're okay. So awesome.
Okay. Well, Patrick, we'll start with you. Yeah, we really would like to know what it was like for you traveling through UK, Paris, Italy, if there were any particular moments or places that left a lasting impression on you.
Yeah, the entire trip was just amazing, but I think there's a couple that really stood out. Because when we were in the Vatican City, we got there pretty early in the morning, and we were going to go to St. Peter's Basilica, and then they were saying that, yeah, it was closed because the Pope was going to be speaking. So, and we could hang out and actually hear the Pope if we wanted to, which was just amazing. So we absolutely did, because I mean, you could go there and not see the Pope, and we just happened to be there on like the right day at the right time. So it was really amazing to see, because he is such an influential figure. So I think that was really probably one of the highlights for sure. And then
That's awesome.
I guess the other part was just seeing like all like the landmarks that like I've heard so much about like my entire life, but like the Eiffel Tower, the Roman Colosseum, like all that. It was just really neat to see it like in person and actually like be there. It was very like surreal. So yeah.
Yeah, it's very different to physically be in the space.
Patrick, if you don't mind, tell us where you went on your trip.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So we went to London, Paris, Milan.
And how many days
Florence,
did you do
and
that?
Rome.
That's a lot.
So yeah, we were kind of
Le Mans. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. How long was the trip?
It was a 10-day trip, so we were doing it with my AP history classes. So
Nice.
it was really neat. So yeah, there was a bunch of teachers I've had and a bunch of my close friends on the trip too. So
And when was the trip?
It was a few weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago.
Like early June. Yeah. So
Okay. Did you see the 24 hours of Le Mans? Were you there during that race?
I was not, no.
Okay. Oh, it's really cool.
So-
I would like to see that someday.
Yeah.
What other surprises, Jen, as well as with your travels, what challenges or surprises compared to your life back home that, what did you see? Kind of some, differences, similarities that you encountered, that just kind of stuck out for you?
I'd say the biggest thing for me was in Paris and then the cities in Italy was kind of the language barrier. It's more of like, it was more just a fear that like I wouldn't be able to communicate with people. It wound up being completely fine, but there was more just the anxiety of, will I be able to communicate with people since I don't speak any French or Italian? How will that work? And will I get to a point where I'm stuck because of that and have to try and use a translator app or like pantomime or something? How will that work? But that's probably the biggest thing going into it that I was worried about. So,
and I think most people are if you're respectful of them, they respect you back, and then it's easier to communicate.
Isn't that interesting how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Even amongst English speakers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate because Patrick, I do use translator, like Google Translate. That's my best friend in living overseas kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn, but I'm a slow poke when it comes to French or any of that stuff too as well. But
it's harder as you get older to learn a new language.
Yes.
At a younger age, you pick it up a lot faster.
Absolutely. I just wish I would have paid attention in school, because I probably, you know what I mean? Because you don't think you're going to need it. So you are considering, or at least I've been told, you're considering to study abroad potentially. Now, what sparked you to wanting to have that interest in, doing that? And if you do, where would you like to go? Or where do you see yourself?
I think really what sparked it was just because I have been traveling so much my entire life. And so it's just been like a very natural thing for me and one of the things I enjoy most. So I think that's really kind of what sparked it. And then I think also every city I've been to in Europe, I've been like, oh yeah, I could live here. Just when I'm looking around. So I think when I was in the UK, I've been there 3 times, once in Scotland and then twice in London now. Every time I've just looked around and I love the weather here. Which seems kind of opposite since it is very cloudy and rainy, but I always enjoy that. I've always looked around and been like, I would love to live here and be even more immersed in different countries. I think That's really the biggest thing. And then also, there is easier travel if I were to go to places in Europe. It's a lot easier to bounce around to different countries. So I think that would be neat as well, to be able to just visit even more places.
Patrick, do you feel like your
as far as that opportunity?
Because you said that you took this trip with your AP history teacher and the collective, do you feel that they've also inspired you to want to travel, and specifically taking you there? Sure, but do you feel like that was ignited within the classroom?
Absolutely. I'd say they did a very good job of like telling enough about like the places itself to make me like really curious about kind of how it all, because like you hear about like individual landmarks and everything, but then how they all like fit together in the city, I think was really something I wanted to see. So I think definitely what was brought up in the classroom definitely kind of made me want to travel even more. So
even when they learned about Versailles or different places, where historical events took place, it's cool then to go actually see it, because I don't think that you can fully appreciate just how incredible.
Right. Going with Versailles, when I was there, it was neat to kind of picture when the French Revolution is happening, how insane that would have been to have so many people storming Versailles, and how chaotic that would have been, but like how also impressive Versailles was, and how that would 100% symbolize the monarchy's power. Like, that was really, it was neat to see like in person, and just how big it would have been, especially back then when there wasn't these huge skyscrapers. Like that was the most impressive building around. So I think
I've found that specifically when it comes to history, that physically being on location makes such a difference in my understanding of what occurred. And like that, even, I mean, in places in the United States and then certainly abroad, it's can't beat it.
I've said that many times already, and I've said it so many times around, is that if I knew what I know now back then, I would have literally been an AP social studies or history class. You know what I mean? Because it was so boring to me. History class was so boring to me. It was
just a textbook, and it was
and pictures in the textbook.
A horribly written textbook. Where was Hamilton? I would have learned so much.
I would have been like,
oh my gosh. Everything should be a musical.
Yeah, and then you have a boring teacher that's teaching it.
A not known like Bueller.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I need to get out of this class. But now that I'm actually on the ground, and I'm every day, honest to God, and that's why I said, Patrick, if you have that opportunity, go for it and don't change your mind on it, because every day I'm literally saying, where I work, Napoleon lived there. And I'm just like, what? That's insane. I'm probably stepping on the same cobblestone he did.
It is pretty incredible when you start thinking about it.
How many people just living their everyday lives were right here in this exact spot?
So
how many people were gossiping where I'm standing? Even that. Because I mean, they were people. So
that is I will tell you that is a very surreal thing. And you'll feel this too when you do study abroad, is that having traveled and being an older adult now, going back to school and seeing the paintings and the pictures and the different things that the text is talking about, and you're like, oh yeah, I was there, and oh yeah, I know the context of that. And if you step to the right and you see this, because you have a better, and I like to say, global view of life and of how it occurred in history in that sense. So it is very, very surreal. Definitely can feel that, and I believe that's why travel is so important at any age. Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree completely. Yeah,
and I think
there is. Go ahead, Jen.
I was just going to say, and when you go other places, you just realize how young our country is.
Yes, for sure. This is street from me is older than America.
Now, Jen, I mean, seeing Patrick discover the world, literally, right? Discovering that, and really, it's the honesty that life is, I guess you can say. As a parent watching your son experience this, what is it like for you, for him? I mean, what does that ignite in you as far as parenting and as a whole, just see him changing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Patrick has always been traveling a lot. I mean, his first flight was when he was 3 months old. So it's kind of always been part of what we do. But I think this trip was a little bit different because it was a long trip without mom or dad there, right? So that was, and it was from a different perspective too. It was, with his history classes. It was so neat to be able to hear from him what things he found exciting or interesting, whether it be, famous places that he got to see in person, to I thought the Mona Lisa was going to be smaller than it was because everybody had said how small it was, and he actually thought it was bigger than he was expecting, to excitement about the food. Plus they also had a lot of independent time on the trip, where awesome. At lunchtime mostly they split into groups of 4, and they were able to go where they wanted and meet back. So that gave them the freedom to see what kinds of things they really wanted to see, or eat at places they really wanted to experience too.
That's awesome.
And so I know that 3 of us on this call went on a high school trip together. And you always have memories of being with friends and a closeness and a common bond. So I knew that was going to be part of this as well, right? Growing friendships and through a common experience. But from this perspective, I will say his history teachers are absolutely amazing. Even before the trip, okay? They really try to bring the classroom experiences. And I'll give you an example. In his one class this year, they all had to pick. They all randomly picked a historical figure, and we're having a dinner party or a tea party.
Yeah, it was a Victorian era tea party. So yeah, it was like
that's cool
from that era. So we had to dress up as them and then kind of engage in conversation in the way that we think the
way they talk.
Yeah, kind of moving
how they would interact
body
with each other, with the different political issues, even if they never.
How awesome! Yeah. How awesome that was for you to be facilitating about. And
we did a few.
As insight into that as well.
All right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And there was another one where they had the Pope. Patrick was the Pope, and somebody else was Martin Luther. And everybody had to sit at the table based on where their beliefs were, based on their historical figures. So these teachers, it was not a boring history class, in other words.
Yeah, that makes all the difference.
For them to actually go and then experience stuff in person and see things, and okay, this is the Hall of Mirrors. So this is like Treaty of Versailles, or, for example, like having that next level. You can't replicate that in a classroom, and no matter how good you are as a teacher. And like I said, they are fabulous, but being able to have them experience it and see it and smell it and all those different things, it was phenomenal as a parent to be able to see him grow, to see him experience it, and really just enjoy his time there. One of his teachers, when we went to Scotland when he was little, he was missing school to go. And I asked his teacher, is there anything that you want us to do while we're gone, so that, because he's going to miss work? And she said, are you kidding me? He's going to learn a lot more in the week that he's gone.
Seriously.
No, we had a teacher say the same thing to us when we had to take our son out of school and we were going to Thailand. And it's amazing.
I feel robbed. I honestly feel robbed in our high school and junior high school days, because everything was textbook driven, you know what I mean? And even when I did go, across the pond to London, the one thing I remembered was the Big Ben. And it wasn't the same. Like, I think it's more like open-minded and having students being able to interact more with what's going on. I'm jealous, Patrick. But also, Jen, have you noticed a change in Patrick since all his travels, his mindset, independence, and curiosity? I mean, you've touched on a couple of those already.
I mean, I think that we definitely have talked a lot about what makes people different and what makes people the same a lot. So I think his travels have really opened that up from the perspective of, it's really cool to see other people's cultures and foods and history and all of those types of things. But I think it also, the underlying thing too, is that fundamentally we're all similar too, right? We all have things that are important to us. We all love people. We all have also these common things too.
Yeah, I think just seeing it was like really, it just makes you feel a lot closer to the place when you do see everyone just experiencing life, like, and having memories in that place. I feel like that really,
Do you
it
see
really
do you
cemented,
see
yeah.
yourself different though, Patrick? I mean, now that
That's
you are
so
going to be an
awesome.
upperclassman and you've had this experience, do you feel that your outlook on school or interacting with others in your school, whether they're the same or just like you, or similar interest or different, do you feel that you'll approach that differently?
Yeah, I think it's still, um, I definitely think it's like helping also, like, if I can communicate with people who don't speak another language with me primarily, like, it makes it that much easier to go back and just talk to people who already speak your language. So I feel even that just little thing socially just kind of has made me a little bit more outgoing, I'd say. But I think definitely um, my travel has like changed, yeah, like how much I even pay attention to things in classes, because I know how important, like, the how important things are, and how even just like landmarks can really help define an area. So I think seeing that in person definitely
Well, I'm excited,
has
like I
helped to
said,
make
to
that
see
even more
you
apparent.
certainly when what you do
Well,
in school this year, and just really how you feel about that, because I'm going to ask Jen.
Anytime.
Well, and Jen, what advice would you give to parents who may be hesitant to let their child go on a trip like this solo by themselves, or just
Yeah, I mean,
with the teachers?
yeah. I mean, obviously there was a little bit of worry at first because it was his first trip overseas without a parent there. And what if something happened? And what if something went wrong? But I would say, as long as you have trust in who's going to be taking them, his teachers were super organized. They had very, I would say, strict rules or firm rules.
Yeah.
So like they always had to have groups of 4, for example. You can never just be in a pair or go by yourself. Just for safety reasons. And they went over, what if some of us get on the train and some of us don't make it on there? What do you do?
And that actually happened once when we were going to Thai. Like, a little bit of our group went on the train and then the others didn't. So we had some people go the next stop over, and then we were able to meet up with them later. But yeah, it was kind of a scary moment when you just see like half of your class just go like whizzing away on a train, and you're just like, okay.
But knowing that they were prepared for those types of things.
Yeah.
That was such a small piece of it, because I knew what a great experience it was going to be for him. He's always had a thirst for knowledge, and
that's awesome.
Loving to learn about a whole variety of things, but history being definitely one of his strong interests. So I knew that he would absolutely love this trip, and it was a great opportunity. So if there is a possibility to send a kid on a trip like this, I mean, it was the things that he experienced, he will remember forever. Not only the experience itself, but like the lessons, even soft lessons learned, the things to appreciate about other cultures and your own, really. I mean, you definitely see things through a different lens when you travel internationally.
For sure.
And it was just such a great experience for all the kids, and even socially. I mean, even getting to know some of the kids on the trip even better, that he wouldn't have had the opportunity to as well, because they had that common experience together, and exploring things for the first time. It was really
Jen,
I
think both Benef and I can, as moms, can really appreciate what you're saying, because both of us have done that in that position. Me having been on a trip with my son overseas, and then also sending my daughter with her AP class, and actually it was at the beginning of COVID, before it had reached here, having to send her, reorganizing the trip, and really what the AP teachers went through to make sure that trip actually happened, and then trying to make it back in the country before borders were closed and all of those wonderful things. So it was, I can understand the fear, but also the reward was so much greater. And, Benef, of course, experiencing that now with her daughter, and, taking a trip abroad this summer. So we definitely can sympathize and empathize with that, the frustrations that you must have had. But again, the reward is so much greater because you knew what was going to come out of that.
Absolutely, so much greater.
And it teaches them responsibility, independency, and all this other good stuff too as well. I'm curious, Patrick, you've been traveling and going outside of the country. It's slightly a little bit political, but what you're hearing politically in our country, in the States, and then you go outside of the States, how's it balanced? Did you feel any difference in what you hear on the media and then what you see? Because sometimes our media will, change things or make it seem like, oh no, if you leave outside of our gates, God forbid, kind of thing, and I was just curious, just hearing from you, from the younger generations, how does that impact and what do you think of when you immerse yourself within those countries?
Yeah, I think I definitely try and follow news from outside of the country as much as I can on like social media and everything. But I think seeing more perspectives where a lot of our news is very central to America. Yes. So I think seeing a lot more of like global news in the different places I was, I think that was really neat too. And like, because I feel like they were covering more countries outside of wherever I was. Like, I think we were watching the news in like Paris and they were talking about stuff everywhere, a lot more than the news in America was. So I think that was kind of neat to see for sure.
Yeah. No, and that's good that you said that because you're right. A lot of times our news is just focused on what's happening in the United States, which is why a lot of people that are in the States that don't travel, you hear them only focus on, oh no, I will never go there because, or whatever the reason is.
So we so appreciate you both being here today. It's been great talking to you. And just learning, and really, Patrick, I think,
thank you so much. Yeah.
With your experiences, you're going to inspire a lot of adults to go ahead and encourage mom and dad to let them go. And I hope that that's what this is going to do, is going to help to encourage folks. And Jen, certainly with what you're saying, hopefully you'll encourage parents to do the same and to say yes. So, yeah.
Well, we'll have to follow up with you like in 5 years when you're graduated college or taking the next step and see how the travel has impacted you.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, as always, please like, subscribe. We would love to hear from you if there's anything you would love to hear from us discuss on our next episode. Until then.
A couple more things though. If you do like our content, please do support us at buymeacoffee.com/Rhythm and Rome. Your support helps us to keep bringing this type of content to you. And check out our website, www.rhythmandrome.com, for lots of information and our blog and our book. We're so excited, and we would love for you to check out our resources on our webpage.
And on that note, au revoir.
Culture clash from coast to coast. Misconceptions, we chasing ghosts. Travel far, wide, explore the unknown.